Okay. All right, let's see.
Let's see. How's it
Live on
sounding?
the recording.
Uploading.
Then we'll start soon. Waiting for the host to start.
I'll share this with my team as well. The live link. What is this? Promo link. Okay. Give me do you want to start like officially in 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Are we
No,
starting?
now it's running on LinkedIn.
It's running.
Finally.
Okay, so
Yeah, it took like a minute.
Okay.
It's fine though. It'll take. We see. Yeah, if you need to take a sec though, because it'll take some people a
Okay.
sec.
I'll be right back. Give you like 1 minute.
Yeah, no worries. All right, what's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. Good to see you. Happy Friday. Always dealing with the LinkedIn lag. For anyone that's run a live stream on LinkedIn before, you run it external of LinkedIn, connected in, and then the lag time can be like 30 seconds. I think I'm finding out now with our new platform, Riverside, it's about 2 minutes. So bit more of a dangerous lag. What's up, Max? I see Max is in there. By the way, throughout, I do have an agenda set. We got Bora from the Reacher team. We're going to be digging into TikTok shop, affiliate marketing, creator stuff. If you have questions outside of that, totally fine. But throughout, feel free to drop your questions at any point. I'll drop it in the chat here, the comment section on LinkedIn. Get my what's up. Drop your cues in anytime. So yeah, throughout, drop your questions in at any point. We'll either try to get to it right away if that's the topic we're on, or we'll circle back on it later. So anyway, all that to say, we'll get into the agenda shortly. Bora, how's it going? Happy Friday. Thanks for making this happen, man.
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Happy Friday. Wow, I've been traveling all week and I feel like I didn't even realize it was Friday, to be honest. But I'm doing well. Excited to chat. It's my first LinkedIn live on Riverside. So I heard you saying that it's like a 30-second, 2-minute delay, something like that.
Yeah, on this other platform like Duckstream or something, it's like 15 to 20 seconds. I think for Riverside right now, I don't know how long the delay is, but there's a bit of a delay. So if you like also have our LinkedIn live pulled up, you'll see it's a little bit trippy.
Right. It's pretty cool. But yeah, dude, I'm excited to chat about affiliate strategy and all that on TikTok shop. That's the name of our game. I know it's the name of your game too. So it's gonna be a good conversation.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, I'll give folks a sec. I see we got like 10, 11 in here. We're also recording this. So for those listening to this later, just know that a lot of these podcast media episodes you're listening to or clips you're seeing, whatever, these are probably happening live as well. So if you ever want to pop in live, you obviously can do so. On the live side, it's just going to allow you to like ask some questions, get into the nitty gritty, you name it. So we'll give people a sec to circulate. For anyone tuning in, thank you for spending your Friday morning / early afternoon with us. For those on the East Coast, I hope everyone's having a good one. Yeah, well, that said, we'll get into it here, and
I do
I
have
want
a
to make sure.
question, Jake, real
Yeah.
quick. Where is the actual link for the LinkedIn live so I can send that out to some people that are asking me for it?
Oh yeah, one sec.
Yeah, me being my first LinkedIn live, I have no idea where to find that.
You want me to Slack it to you?
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great. I'll send it out to some people too.
Cool.
Awesome. Okay. Perfect. If I pull this up on the side.
Yeah, these LinkedIn lives are not the easiest thing to hook into
Right.
or promote.
Whoa, what happened to my? Are you still seeing my video?
No, video just got out, as I
Oh.
was saying.
Yeah, like literally like
I
on
know,
the
cute.
dot. Technical difficulties. Okay, I think we're good.
All right, great. Well, thanks everyone for tuning in. Again, feel free to drop your questions, comments, whatever throughout. So, for those that don't know, Bora is a partner at Reacher. Reacher is one of the automation tools that is helping brands absolutely crush affiliate marketing, creator marketing, frankly, more on TikTok Shop. We just got loaded into Reacher about like a month, maybe 2 months ago. So our team's been in that channel, got all of our brands loaded in there, doing some crazy stuff inside of it. So the purpose of this call, I'm of course on the agency side. So our relationships with our clients, a little bit more depth, like we're looking at the full picture, but we're also only looking at like 5 to 10 brands at a given time. You guys on the software side, really hyper focused on the creator side, which is 80% of all revenue generation on TikTok, and looking at hundreds of brands. Maybe we'll get to thousands soon. Maybe you guys are already at thousands.
Yeah.
So the data set you guys have is phenomenal. The evolution of creator marketing over the past year and a half, 2 years since the launch of this program has been pretty wild, to say the least. It's a space that early on, a lot of chaos. You used to be able to just send out target collaborations manually to like 50, 100 people and get like half of them signed up, just because it was so new and you were competing with like 3 other brands that knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
That changed quickly, and then I think the pendulum shifted where we had so many creators joining, so much outreach going. Now I see definitely this year, maybe Q4 last year, even brands are having to be a lot more strategic with what they do in terms of outreach, less of a spray and pray, and they can use some of the filtering and unique tools that you guys have. So all of that to say, incredibly important as a platform. Would love for you to introduce yourself and Reacher and where you guys sit in this ecosystem.
Yeah. Thanks for that intro. That was great. I will say that as we stand right now, we are a TikTok shop specific affiliate marketing software. We're trying to build, or we have built, and we're continuously building AI and tech tools to make your TikTok shop affiliate process easier, more optimized, more efficient, all those keywords, right? I would say our vision right now is to build a absolutely cracked out AI brand manager that just
Yeah.
can do everything for you. So as we know right now, like most agencies and brands will hire, VAs overseas and things like that. That's kind of like the MO currently, which is fine. If you find a good one, they do really well, but a human can only work so many hours a day, right? We want to supercharge these VAs or these human brand managers with a tool where like a ChatGPT style interface. You can go in and say, all right, here's what I want to achieve with this supplement brand. We're looking for, people that are like 18 to 25 years old. We're looking for gym goers and then like yoga girls and stuff, right? So being able to say exactly what you want this AI brand manager to do and then have it just work 24 hours a day, in the affiliate center, doing the manual tasks, finding the right creators, sending messages, all that kind of stuff for you in a more efficient way. That's kind of like what our vision is. And we have built out, let's say like 40, 50% of that, now adding more AI capabilities as we go.
Yeah, and I think it's so valuable. I'm intrigued by what the evolution of your platform is going to look like. Um, it's one of those things that we found where if you are not native to TikTok Shop or it's not your full-time thing, you're just not going to be able to do it at the capacity that's necessary. Like you might get lucky every once in a while. You have to like really understand the platform and like be in there all the time. And I think a lot of brands are trying to do the fractional stuff where it's like let's invest a little bit. Let's have our ecom team spend like a little bit of time. Let's have our social media girl spend a little bit of time. Let's have our influencer team spend a little bit of time. You kind of have to be like all in or nothing. And it's so much better to have dedicated resources to it or infrastructure And this whole like, hey, we're going to test out TikTok, and testing means like check it like once a week for an hour and like see what happens. And then
Yeah.
it fails and it's like TikTok shop doesn't work. And it's like,
Right.
dog, you're trying to get jacked. You went to the gym, like you just went in and looked at the gym and thought you were going to get jacked. Like it
Yeah.
ain't going to work like that. You got to
No.
put the work in.
Yeah.
So all of that to say, for those less familiar, although I assume we got a lot of OGs listening, that creator outreach process, what does that look like from start to finish? Because I think some folks believe it's as simple as like set your filters, invite people, done. I think we know all the nuances in between that actually make it work.
Yeah, yeah. I would say, talking about the outreach strategy specifically, what we've seen work the best with all the brands and agencies we work with is, really doing that research, and of course trying to use AI tools to make that more optimized, but doing the research into which creator like persona would really be interested in working with your product and that would make good content for your product, right? Like to your point earlier, you said, the spray and pray method used to work. Not really anymore. I mean, there's kind of like a little bit of spray and pray because there's just so many affiliates, right? Like when you find your persona, you still have to do a little bit of spray and pray to reach out to those people, but it's way more in like a little bubble, right? So you find those relevant affiliates using AI tools like ours, for example, and then you reach out to them, and then it's the messaging that matters a lot, right? Also, you can't have an ego, right? In life in general, just don't have an ego. But like with TikTok Shop, the brands will come, and even if you have an amazing product, if you're just brand new on TikTok Shop, you have no sales, no reviews. That doesn't matter how good your product is. Like affiliates are looking for products that have sales, that have that proof, that TikTok Shop proof that they can make money off of it, right? That's what they want to do. They want to make money. So if you come in without having any like sales, reviews, anything like that, you will have to give a higher commission rate. Probably you will have to give some more incentives on the side to get these good affiliates to work with you. That's something we've been seeing a lot as well. Like maybe even sometimes starting off with like a little bit of a retainer payment right off the bat, potentially sometimes, right? So that is another method that we've been seeing working a lot, very well. And then the messaging, like the amount of times, like if I had $1 for every time I saw someone say like, "We love your content" as the first thing that the creator sees, I'd be a freaking billionaire, right? And the amount of time that doesn't work, I'd be a trillionaire. So you want to have a message that really just says what your product is, and it's like nice and short and sweet. The affiliates don't want to read like every single message out of the thousands of messages they get every day. So nice and short and sweet. What is the commission rate? What is the possibility of making more money? What is the possibility of ad spend? Maybe some little bullet points on the product itself to get them interested. And then you're probably golden, right? So those are kind of the things that we've been seeing working.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of brands that don't understand the leverage dynamic at play, or don't have a far enough understanding of the creator's perspective to do things the right way.
Yeah,
Um, like I think far too often brands are going in and just being like, "Hey, we're really successful on like Shopify or Amazon. We make a lot of money. We have a cool product that we think is cool, and some customers think is cool, maybe elsewhere. Like, oh, you should be thankful that like we're sending this to you. Like, it's a failure to realize what this side looks like on the creator side. And something I've been recommending to more and more brands is like, even before you launch, like if you don't believe me, go talk with a creator.
yeah,
That it doesn't even need to be a great creator. We've been interviewing a few on the pod who've like crushed it from like the GMV they drive and the earnings they're making as commission. But like even a creator generating 10K in monthly GMV, which maybe their commission on that's only like $2,000 a month, so it's not a full-time gig yet. Even those creators get thousands of requests on a weekly basis. And so, number one, how are you going to stand out there? And then number two, you got to realize that you're competing against every single other brand on the platform, because we all have access to the same data sets, which is the TikTok Shop API. So if I'm only filtering things by revenue and it's like, hey, I want to work with health creators that are guys between the age of 18 and 36, and I want to work with the ones who've driven the most revenue. Well, guess what? Like all the top brands on TikTok Shop are trying to get them. Also, all of the like behemoths that are joining TikTok Shop are also trying to get them. How are you going to uniquely stand out in position? And it's always pushing brands to be like, we have to do more unique ways to target and get in front of the right people. And then we also have to understand that from a messaging perspective, sending them an absolute essay is not going to be the thing that takes it over the top. You got to get specific to the point. How are you supporting the creator? Why should they want to work with you? Um, and then also, I'd love to get your thoughts too on commission rate stuff. Um, that's where I think people boil things down to like numbers a little bit too much, not realizing that what I've seen firsthand is it could be one of the best creators on the platform driving a ton in revenue. But if they like really want that new fashion piece or like custom cotton candy,
Yeah.
well, they can get it for free. So they might like take you up on it. Or if they like really vibe with the brand.
Right.
So there is more of a subjective component. Like these aren't, it's not like these creators are reviewing this with their financial advisor, doing the math on like, well, 22.5% commission against 17 and yada, 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 and the AOV and whatever.
Right.
How do you steer brands away from just being like, oh, it's not working, just increase the commission rate? And it's like, okay, that's not necessarily the only fix here.
Yeah. It's a good question, and I think that it kind of goes to this like wider problem of for us, when brands are complaining that TikTok Shop isn't working, what they tell us is like, oh, the creator side, like it's their fault, like the creators just aren't good, or the creator does this, creator's not replying, blah blah.
Yeah.
Now, when I go into the actual affiliate center, because we get access to the affiliate centers of all the brands we work with, right? That's like a requirement of using our software. When I rarely do this, but sometimes I'll go into the affiliate center and try to help out a brand if they're like, oh, there's an issue with my whatever. I'll go in and I'll look around and I'll see stuff and I'll be like, this brand told me that no creators respond to them, right? Then I'll go in and look and I'll see they have 4,000 unread messages from creators. And I'm like, actually, you're the one not responding to the creator, right? So this might not sound relevant, but it's literally just, if your strategy isn't working, it's probably not a commission issue. It's probably like you're not answering the questions of the creators. Maybe you have a product issue. Maybe like you're reaching the wrong creators. Like you can actually tell a lot about what's going on with your strategy if you actually go in and talk to the creators. Like for example, there's this one brand very recently that was like complaining that nobody was submitting sample requests. Like we sent out 10,000 messages for them in a week, and they were like,
I already know where you're going with this.
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, they're like, what's wrong with the product, or what's wrong with your product, like Reacher? We're not getting any sample requests. Like you guys are broken. And I'm like, okay, let me go in and look. Did you look in the affiliate center? No. Okay, let me go in and look. I go in and I see 100 messages from creators, right? And then I read like half of them, and every single one was like, oh, there's a shipping issue. Like I can't request a sample. I can't request a sample. And I was like, okay. So I took that and I took it to the owner of the brand, and I was like, did you look at this? I'm like, oh, like, is that a Reacher issue? I'm like, no, it's not. It's a shipping issue.
No, it's not a Reacher.
Right. So that's like multiple things. One, you're not looking into the problem. You're not finding the solution yourself. And then two, you don't even understand how TikTok Shop works. So like you need to fix both of those things, right? So anyhow, usually again, it's looking inwards and seeing that, what am I doing wrong, or what is like not the creator's fault, essentially.
Yeah. By the way, for anyone wondering the specifics on that, if a creator can't request a sample, that's no different than an order. So that means no customer could have ordered anything either.
Yeah.
So, you know,
Pretty big issue. Pretty big issue.
yeah, pretty big issue if you're trying to drive sales.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, I'd love to get into more. So extending. So for those like doing a good job and maybe have some of this one-on-one stuff. So speaking more to like people in there driving some revenue, trying to think about how you scale affiliate marketing. I'd love to know like what are some of those scale components, because we look at like how do we get affiliate creators into retention mode, sometimes on contracts, sometimes just like in a retention mode, like in our own branded WhatsApp group or whatever. Trying to do more unique things. We've even done something I'll get into later is like product collaborations, which has been really interesting for us. But also it's like, how do we go and target new creators that maybe the intuitive way of targeting, that's been a huge unlock for us. Is if you always just do what's intuitive, you're competing with everyone else that's doing the same thing. So if you're a brand in the food and bev category, trying to go after the sweet spot of like millennials because your product's a little bit more healthy, like congratulations, you are competing with everyone else. Because like Kellogg's and other crap brands aren't on TikTok Shop, or aren't competing necessarily at that same level. It's all the ones that are like, it's a better for you chip, it's a better for you protein bar, it's a better for you whatever. It's like Whole Foods just taken to this. So if you're just competing in that space, like, you're not going to find it. So we've done weird triangulation things where we're like, let's look at the top creators that are women in like home accessory, in driving high AOV, and then let's cross index that against engagement rate, ignore GMV, and like try that as a outreach method for like a phone case brand. Like, really weird stuff that isn't intuitive. So I mean, in terms of those scale components, like, what are some of the things you guys think about for your brands?
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like we are an AI automation company, so we're trying to automate things at scale and make everything more efficient. But sometimes we also recommend things that are not efficient to like a growth hack, right? Like for example, to your point, if there's a creator you really really want to work with, and also creators, if they see a really big creator that's successful working with your brand, they'll follow suit as well. Like it'll be much easier to get those other good creators, right? So let's say there's like a million followers creator, they're working with a competitor of yours, or maybe they're just like working in a non-adjacent category, but they could work with your brand as well. Like, how are you gonna get them interested in talking to you, right? So you could send them a generic email, right? Or what you could do is think outside the box. Maybe there's this platform called Tremendous, and it's like you can gift like Amazon gift cards and stuff. So one thing we've been trying on like the outreach side is we've been sending like 2 cents to people, like literally like 2 cents, like 2 pennies. And we're like, hey, I want to give you my 2 cents on this thing, right? And we've gone so much open rate on that because you're literally sending 2 cents and they're like, what the hell is this? Someone just sent me 2 cents. And they look at it and then boom, like they'll respond to you. And maybe like they wouldn't respond to you otherwise because, they're just like some random brand. But then they actually like your product, you work with them, blah, blah. So it's always thinking about these growth hacks, right? And that's not efficient, that's not optimized, but it doesn't matter because you can make everything else that follows more efficient and optimized after that. So that's like some random stuff that you could do. In terms of the scaling the affiliate program, to your point again, like the retainer based creators, I think the main strategy that we recommend to most brands we work with is, yes, do like a little mini like niche spray and pray in the beginning. Look at the numbers, look at the videos. If people are doing quality videos, or they're doing some sales numbers for your brand, try to reach out to them and get them off platform, right? Like get their number, like WhatsApp number, get their email, blah blah blah, and then do those retainer based deals. Host them on some platform. Like we also have now, like you can host creators in Reacher, and we automate like the campaign management and the payouts of the creators. But traditionally like people use Discord and WhatsApp and whatnot. So whatever you use, make that group of creators, and then continuously add, like keep the outreach going, but just like make it less and less each week probably, and then just keep pulling creators into your community, and then use those creators to make like 20-30 videos per day and actually build relationships with them. Like it's all relationship building after that, like a normal business, right? So that's what we recommend, and that works really really well for the brands that do it properly.
Yeah, and that's frankly the benefit to having the automation component is, you don't have to necessarily automate everything. It's cool if you can, but the automation in the primary mechanism, which is like, for our team, I'm always like, all things equal, like Reacher needs to be on. Like when I get the notification that a campaign's done and it reached all the creators, there needs to be a new one like right away, because that is a thing that always can be on. It's something we always need running.
Right.
And everything else, whatever, it's fine. We'll get to it when we get to it. But that's what then frees up our time to do really unique and fun, creative things. We started doing like calls with like all the creators and some of the brand team on a monthly basis.
Right.
We started doing more retainer deals with creators where we're bringing them into the fold. Sometimes we're doing that bottom up, but another thing we found interesting is finding creators who are popular on TikTok but haven't yet joined the TikTok Shop affiliate program.
Cool.
If you can get in front of them, it's a huge win, because if you can be the first brand they work with, your ability to retain them and get a huge promo is, I think, a huge win.
Right.
So we're always looking for those unique ways. And I think brands just have to be relentless in their pursuit of at all times trying to make it the best possible creator experience, because the only alternative is having to just shell out a ton of cash. Um, and we've seen some of the models out there. Like I know went around viral kind of on Twitter last year was like Golly's rewards programs,
Yeah.
some other brands like giving away Lamborghinis, Ferraris,
Right.
which is definitely interesting. It's unique. I don't know how applicable that is to other brands, because unless your margin profile is like 70% gross, like it's
Yeah.
going to be tough.
Yeah.
And you got to do a lot of revenue to still make that work. So yeah, I mean, I think overall, you just got to have a relentless pursuit and like extreme discipline to thinking at all times what are new things we can do for creators that's going to enhance their experience.
Yeah, and another thing I'll add to that is you want to not only enhance their experience, but you want to really avoid giving them a bad experience. Because like I'm on Twitter all the time as well, and it's like most brands and agencies are on LinkedIn, and most creators and some brands are on Twitter, right? So like I like to see both sides, and my feed is so perfectly my algorithm is great, so I see all the creative stuff, all what they're talking about at all times. Recently I saw this post that went viral with all the creators, and it was a creator bashing a TikTok shop brand on like how they didn't pay them, or they didn't pay them on time, or like there was some issue with the deal, and it just like went viral and blew up, and all the other creators under them were like, yeah, like screw this brand, blah blah. And like I looked at this was like a few weeks ago, and I looked at Callow data, and I looked at the brands like numbers they were doing from that date versus onwards, and it's been going down. And I think it's it's definitely like you don't want to ruin your own brand reputation as well. You want to make sure you're doing everything nice and clean, and you're paying on time, and you're making sure the creators don't get pissed off. Like sure, you can't please everybody, but at least like don't really screw anybody over, because you never know who might go viral and screw you over. So I would say do the right thing and make sure you don't piss anybody off on the way if you can avoid it.
Yeah, 100%. We've had just nightmare scenarios that we come across on the influencer and brand side of things, and we
Yeah.
always got to go in and solve that. There's also even like an empathetic edge. Like creators, if you ship them a sample and they don't create and post that content within a certain period of time, they're going to get dinged on platform. And so like we've had certain situations where we got to like intentionally extend that window for them. Um, or hey, I accidentally ordered it to the wrong place, could you help me with that? And when you go the extra mile for folks, that's what makes a huge difference. um,
Yeah.
because ultimately, a lot of these creators, this is not their full-time job, so you can't expect like a response right away during a work day. You can't expect like no issues to be had.
Right.
And the other thing that I think is like so missed is the the creators, while there's a financial incentive there, what the action is that they're doing, it's creative. And so no different than any artist of any kind, if you're not excited to do it,
Mhm.
it's not going to be very good. Like you have to pull from within for that.
Right.
And even if you give them a content brief or a script that they read word for word, it's not about the script, it's the emotion and everything else that goes into it. And that's like why creators are good at what they do. And so you have to like get them as excited to actually want to work with you as possible. And speaking of, I don't know if we can share some specific examples from both of our companies and who we work with. If we can, awesome. But if not, I also understand that. Are there any brands out there um, doing some really interesting stuff that's on your radar? Is anything like, are you seeing anything in the ecosystem on Twitter, on LinkedIn? Like I always go down the threads and look at what people are doing and try to figure it out. Anything stand out to you?
Um, Anything interesting other than the ordinary? I I do know a couple that I haven't gotten permission from them to talk about, but I will say like we also work with brands in Europe and like the UK, and here, and I feel like the strategy is usually different because, for example, in the UK, brands in the UK are much less willing to spend money, and then creators are, for some reason, more open to working with more brands, from what I've seen, at least. So there's this one brand that we were helping over in the UK. They were a creatine gummy brand. They started with $0 in sales, and we got them up to like 60K, I believe, per month. And then some stuff happened. But anyways, like they in the UK specifically, they were like one of the only brands that really followed what we did here in the US, with creator communities and like challenges, creator challenges and whatnot, gamifying stuff. And they did that first in the UK, and they like absolutely blew up. And then they would have kept blowing up, but some stuff happened. But anyhow, I would say like if you're from another country and you see stuff working in like the US, or for example, like in the US, we see stuff working in China, and I feel like we're kind of like following suit a little bit as well. Like just try to be the first ones to follow suit and do that strategy. So we kind of have to be tapped into all different sides, right? To kind of understand that. And then I think Josh Jackson from Old School Labs, they're really using they're really doing the strategy right that we were talking about earlier. So that mass outreach first, and then bring them in house, and then they're really using a lot of tools to make the whole process as efficient as possible. So I would say, in general, you want to find as many tools as you can. Not just saying this for myself, but like for every single part of the process, there is a way to make it more automated, more optimized. And to your point earlier in the discussion, like don't try to cut corners, because you're gonna like go and look at the gym, and you're gonna leave, and you're gonna be like, the gym, I can't get buff, right?
Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah, like you got to go put in the work, right? And then spend time. If you're the founder, spend time yourself learning all about the ecosystem, and then looking for tools, because then you'll be like a great example is Elon Musk, right? Like I don't like politics aside, Elon Musk, one thing he does really well is, even though he's at the top level, he would go to the Tesla factory, right, back in the day, and he'd walk the line every single day, and he'd look at all the whole process, and he'd be like, why the hell are you using this like screwdriver when you could use like this automated one, right? Or like, and then you find all the little rivets, and then you just optimize it completely, and you just take it from there. So it's kind of like a strategy for the founders, right? Like never step away from your business that much. You always want to have like the eyes, because you care about it the most. So sorry, it was kind of like a not TikTok shop specific.
No, it's exactly what I was going to ask you next. By the way, we got a lot of folks in here, so drop your questions down below, because we'd love to get into some tactical Q&A and other things, or just say what's up. Let us know where you're from, and if you're a brand too, like I'll pull up your TikTok right now and start digging into it. No, that exact example I was going to ask you about, because what's been so fascinating for us, and we've been in the TikTok game since like 2019. We launched a lot of the enterprise brands, McDonald's, North Face, PacSun, Cameo, 8 Sleep. Like we were the ones launching them onto TikTok. And then obviously TikTok Shop launched. We got pulled in December 22, beta launched April 23 at the ground floor of that. And what's been so wild to me is, I would say, two things that are very connected. One, like historically, when we would work with a brand, even the big brand or a smaller brand, it was always us reporting into a social media manager, an influencer marketing manager, and like someone in the marketing division. And then when it came to execution, like we would do our own reporting. We'd like report to those team. Maybe we would talk to the ads team. Maybe we talk to the influencer team, but we were like very siloed. Like, I don't know what the hell is going on in the rest of the organization. Now it's totally different, where even large companies, especially smaller ones, like even if they have a CMO and a marketing team, it's the co-founder or the founder reaching out. It's the founder like taking the strategy calls, like digging in, building our creator programs, calling me on the weekend, like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And then like I find myself in email threads like with their CFO sharing like the financial model. I find myself in email threads with their freaking 3PL, like making sure we have inventory and shit. And like, hey, I don't want this to run out. We got this post going viral. Give me your 3PL's number. I'm calling them and making sure they're staffed this weekend, because we got to get these orders out. Like it's one of those things where when revenue can become a KPI, it becomes the only KPI. And even though TikTok has for years, half a decade now, been a great driver of sales like org wide, now it's getting the attention of everyone. So like, I just love to know your perspective on the brands that are signing up for your platform, irregardless of like headcount. Are you generally, because everything you mentioned up to this point has been like, I was talking to this founder, I was talking to the owner, I was talking to whoever. Is that like more and more what you're seeing? Because just for context, like that's wild. Like a social media tool like Buffer, no CEO in the world has taken the time to like sign up for Buffer unless you have less than 2 employees.
Right.
But that's wild that this is like a ownership thing.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, so from all the brands and agencies we work with, like the highest level of people we talk to are those co-founders, right? And like honestly, a majority of the brands and agencies we work with, we do interface with the co-founders pretty often. Um, and those ones are doing the best, like on TikTok Shop, or with their business is just doing great, right? Now the ones where I'm interfacing only with like the VA from Pakistan or the Philippines or something, that we see them like go away or fail or churn, or they have like tons of issues all the time. Like there's a disconnect, right? Um, so for TikTok Shop specifically, because it's so new and it moves so fast, like the companies where the C-suite and higher people are engaged with us are just killing it at all times. So it's very interesting because to your point, I didn't even think about this before, but to your point, like prior startups and businesses I've been in, we've never really like you talk to the founder or the decision maker once and then it's done, right? They're like, oh yeah, I'll buy this, and then it's over. But here they're like, I'll buy this and then I'm gonna hold you accountable and I want you to do this, this, and that. And it's just it shows you that they care about their business and you can really see it in how their business succeeds. So that maybe it's like a TikTok Shop thing. I don't know if you're seeing that as well from your end with the brands you work with, but
Yeah.
it's definitely where the founders are involved, the business will succeed more often.
Yeah. No, it's very much the same thing. Well, I know I've held you for quite some time. We do have a couple questions if you
Sure.
still have a sec.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, guys, for the questions here. It was loading way late. Uh, Fahimadun Shar. Sorry, I'm white as hell and I'm from Kansas. I'm really bad at that. He asked earlier, sorry for the delay, my man. I've sent around 40 samples of good affiliates, but only got one video that generates sales. Like all their videos are dead with 500 to 800 views, I'm guessing. What should I do in this situation? What immediately comes top of mind for me, one, I would increase your testing cadence to like 50 to 100 samples, 40, whatever, it's fine. And let's say they're good. I would ask you though, why are you qualifying as good? Is that GMV, or did you actually take the time to look at their profile? Because one of the things people don't realize is the GMV it displays for creators includes what is being driven through ads. It's not just their organic. And so if they post like one video for Neurogum, who like crushes on the platform, and I know Ryan well, like they might have $150,000 in GMV. It's not because of them. It's because Ryan and his ads team are dialed and
Right.
spending a ton because their CAC and their ROAS is amazing. So that's the first thing is I would look at like, how are you targeting like good? The other component is what are you doing as a content brief for those creators? Like
Right.
look at the video click-through rate, because if the video click-through rate is below 5%, that's a content brief problem. Like your content brief just sucks. It's not interesting enough for them to click on the product.
Right.
And then if that's there, the click-through rate's high, traffic's good, views are decent, 500 to 800 average views per, like that's enough. Then you just have a conversion issue, which is, are you running a flash sale? What promo are you running on that product? Why should they buy now? What's your AOV? So like you do need to analyze like all those components. And then the final thing I'd say is one new strategy we've been doing to test affiliate organic, because a metric we like worship is what are the sales per affiliate we're getting. So for every affiliate we approve of, how many organic sales do we get for that before we run in ads? And our ads been starting to get really high for a lot of our accounts, that it's blending like what's organic, what's ads. So we added a new protocol, and this is a thing we do that I think every new brand should be doing before you spend on conversion ads even, is once the affiliate video gets posted and you get the ad authorization, run it through impression ads for 1 to 2 weeks before you turn it on for conversion, and only turn it on for conversion if it gets 5 to 10 organic sales. And don't spend like $1,000 running impressions at like one video. Just do like an ad group, spend $100 a day across like 40 videos, let the algorithm do its thing, then analyze. We follow the rule of 5 where we look at, does it have at least 5 organic sales, assuming your AOV is like above 25. If not, it's got to be a little bit higher. And is the click-through rate 5%? If those things are true, we run that in conversion ads and it will get a ROAS on average of 5. So that's the simple math we do. Bora, would love to know your thoughts on Fahima Dune's situation.
Is it possible for me to see these questions too? I don't think I
Yeah, it's on the LinkedIn. There's actually, well, I said yes, but no, there's really not. Wait for
no problem, no problem. I was curious.
I'll Slack it to you if you got it pulled up.
Yeah, I do have Slack. I do have Slack open.
Okay,
So
six.
just so I can like really analyze. But I think for this question specifically, dude, I think you just killed it with the answer. I mean, I don't think I have much more to say. Let me just read this real quick. I've sent around 40 samples of the good affiliates.
In that case, I got another one for you that I think you could answer a lot better than me. From which countries do you see the most successful brand operators that sell in the U.S. markets currently? And I know we got some tariff stuff here. We support brand owners from a number of countries. The barriers to entry have fallen dramatically. Yes. Big picture, yes. That's a question from Michael Law, the EVP of Sales and Marketing and Chief Commercial Officer. I can't see his profile, but
yeah, I know Michael. Hey, Michael, how you doing?
there we go.
I would say the most successful brand operators that sell in the U.S. market currently. I mean, so if I remember correctly, we talked at a conference recently, and you supply supplements. You're a supplements manufacturer, I believe. So
that's what it looks like. Yeah, Eagle Labs.
Eagle Labs. That's interesting. I mean, I work with mainly US brands and I guess some UK brands, and US and UK brands do great numbers with supplements. So I guess I'm not fully sure what other answer I can give you other than, US operators of brands and UK operators of brands. Like I haven't really worked with many other brand operators from other countries that sell here. I mean, we get the occasional like Chinese company that the ACCU company that is a Chinese-based company but sells in the US. They have permission to sell here, but yeah, with the tariffs and stuff, that's like not.
Yeah. So yeah, and Michael's let me know Eagle Labs, Co-Man, and Fulfillment. So okay, so I think what he's getting at is like where, from a product perspective. So I only have more of a purview to U.S. entities. We do have a couple clients outside of the U.S. that their entities are outside of the U.S., but and their products developed along with a lot of these are developed outside of that. Yeah. Like China market for sure is the biggest. My WhatsApp every single day gets about 15 inquiries from Chinese brands or people just with product that want to sell in the US market. Yeah. And I'm sure like plenty of those crush. I just like, I don't want to deal with the time zone. Sorry. But no, there is a big opportunity there. And other agencies I know, like absolutely kill it. Michael was saying Brazilians are crushing it, which I haven't come across.
Yeah,
really?
Brazil is going crazy. I think TikTok Shop just launched for them, and like we work with a few Brazilian brands and agencies, and apparently they're like they think that it could be bigger than the US market, which I don't know, like we'll see. But apparently Brazilians love buying stuff online, and they have like a Mercado Libre or something. It's like their Amazon platform, but apparently Brazil is just going crazy with TikTok Shop right now, and we're actually looking to expand into Brazil as well with our operations. We're in Mexico, but not Brazil yet. So I would say
that's
Brazil,
wild to hear.
Yeah,
that's phenomenal. Yeah, and I think it's important for people to understand that like there are a lot of other markets across the globe where like as a percentage of transactions, social commerce, like buying product from a social media channel is way higher. Yes. I know like we've had an office out of Manila since 2019. And so like our team out there that we've worked with for a long time, so much of this social commerce stuff is like way more native for them. When we were trying to figure out and start doing live streams for our brands, like that was the first thing we did was we started studying live streams in the Philippines, which I think is like a much better market as a like liaison between China and US, because I mean it's like it's right there in the South China Sea. Um, and so it's got like a lot of influence there technologically, but culture wise, like it was at one point a US territory after we stole it from the Spanish.
Yeah.
So like their understanding of US culture is just way better. So it's a nice
Yeah.
blend. I know Jerry just dropped a question from Reacher, founder at Reacher.
What's the answer?
What are your thoughts on creator communities like Social Army and Media Labs and Creators Corner? Any pros and cons for
I think
each?
that's I think that's a question for you actually from him.
Probably. I guess he could ask you that anytime.
Yeah, yeah.
um, yeah, that's a good question. I'm personally fascinated with all of them. Like I think what Sedlak and the rest of those guys have done. Social Army, that guy, I'm blanking on his name.
Jasper and Stan.
Jasper, brilliant. Like I think what they've done is great. Um, it gives me. I think there's an elevated. Um, I think there's like an elevation to be had because this whole concept of like do this thing to make money only like it's very coursey, which I mean that's why like Sedlak got into it. That's like been his whole shtick is like selling courses and other stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I mean I think it's phenomenal. I think there is a huge opportunity and a big question mark around who is going to go out and get existing full-time creators onto TikTok Shop. Because when that happens, the dynamics of all this will change drastically. Like we're still very much in 1.0 era where a lot of the top creators have 15 different TikTok accounts that they post like 15 videos to. They're all salesy, they're all product driven. And I even spoke with like the head of creators at TikTok about this. And I was like, hey, this pendulum shift, like my personal hypothesis is like this is going to have to come back and it might gravitate so far to the point where if you are trying to sell people, you're just getting hated on by the platform. Right. So I think, but overall, I think those platforms can be a great resource and they work really well right now. The one thing I will say is they're like a man on our team who runs our creator and influencer marketing stuff has always been, and we get asked by hundreds of creators over the past few years, every single month, like, hey, do you guys have like a creator agency? Do you guys have a talent agency? And I've always said no to it. I've always drawn a hard line in the sand because we are as an agency trying to operate in the best interest of our brand partners who pay our bills. When we operate a talent or creator agency, even if we're not taking a cut, which these things are taking a cut, our incentive goes to the talent, not to the brand. And so like, I'm not weighing what's the right creator for your brand. I am pushing you to this creator because I'm trying to optimize for retention and the earnings I can make from that creator and making sure they stay in our ecosystem. Right. So I think it's a great tool right now. It's a necessary one because without it, there's not a whole lot out there. But I think long term, it's a bigger question mark around like, what is the role of talent agencies in a creator economy ecosystem that there are so many fractional tools. Talent management is going away, I think, forever. It's great that they're educating folks on it from like level 0 up. I think there's someone that's going to come in. I was talking to JT Barnett about this. Like someone's going to go take all the Instagram influencers trying to make money there, like pumping reels, like wasting their time doing it because you make no money doing it. And then like doing a promo for Bloom that you get paid like $1,000. And you're like, what am I even doing in my life? Yeah. At some point, someone's going to go get them that are like really stellar creators, have a really great audience, and get them onto TikTok Shop. And that's where I think like the next step is to be made.
Yeah, I would agree. And the one good thing about these like social armies and media labs and stuff is that there still is a really dire need for good creators on TikTok Shop. A huge need. Like it's like supply and demand is crazy. And there are a lot of creators. I mean, from based off our database, we have 2 million plus creators in the US active currently, right? But the numbers are crazy. Like the number of creators that actually make sales out of that 2 million is around the 100K mark. right?
Yeah.
Which is like wild. Like 1.9 million creators are doing no GMV, no money. And part of the reason is because they don't know how to do it. Like partially it is the creators that just don't know how to make content that sells, like good engaging content. And with Social Army and Media Labs, they train their creators, right? Like creators actually pay them to get trained, and then they're promised like brand deals and retainer based payments and things like that. And it works, right? Because they these guys know what they're doing. They've done this stuff for a long time. And then also to like, Alex Sedlax and Jasper, like these guys also are good at generating hype. They, like I always saw like, oh, Miami ecom bros. Like I'm a tech guy, so I always like thought it was like corny and cheesy, but it works. Like, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like I met Alex in Vegas, and then they were doing like some video of like them gambling and like recording, and I was like, wow, these are the YouTube videos I used to watch in high school, and I'm like literally watching it right now, and it works to generate that hype, and people like creators see that lifestyle and they're like, I want to achieve that lifestyle, and they go join the community, and then they make tons of sales. So good on them, and I agree with you with the question of like I don't know how it's going to evolve, but it's definitely shifting very rapidly.
Yeah. I'd like to at some point do a high stakes uh, poker game with
Yeah.
Alex, Jasper, all the creator agencies, and we can bet as chips creators.
Dude, that's so funny. We were trying to. He was staying at Caesar's Palace. We were trying to play poker with him, but then when we got there, Jerry and I, we got there late, and then they had gone down. They're playing roulette at the high stakes table. But that sounds like a great idea. Let's do that, dude. Let's
Yeah,
go.
I ain't going to this high stakes table. I'm not allowed to gamble. Um, anyway, well, Bora, I appreciate your time. I know I need to run and go do my actual job,
Yeah,
but
same.
no, I appreciate you taking the time. For anyone that's listening live here, thank you so much. Feel free to DM me or Bora after this with any questions. Definitely, if you're not signed up already, go check out Reacher. Just get signed up with an account, start playing around, use the educational resources that they have internally. I think I even have a YouTube video of like me digging into it as well. So if like you want to see what I'm doing, we've got some course material on it. So make sure you go utilize Reacher, because you have to dial in your automations and systems, or else you're going to be too busy with that to get to all these other things that are the actual unlock. So anyway, that's what I'd recommend. Thank you all for tuning in, listening. Happy Friday. Bora, any closing things here?
Yeah, thanks, dude. This was awesome. Had a great conversation with you. My first LinkedIn Live, number one. It was fun. And I'll say for anybody still watching, if you do mention that you came from this LinkedIn Live, I'll hook you up with like a month free trial or something. Let me know, help you out. But yeah, appreciate it. Have a great weekend, everybody. And it was fun. Can't wait for next time.
Awesome. All right, guys. See ya. Thanks so much.
Bye.
Ethan, have an awesome Friday. Jerry, Michael, Ibrahim, Nick, Fahimadun, Amanda. All right, I got everyone that commented.